In a new documentary, Bexar County District Attorney Nico LaHood opens up about his brother's murder.
My name is Kenneth Foster Jr. I was convicted for capital murder and sentenced to death in 1997.
A San Antonio DACA student activist under investigation by the FBI is detained and faces deportation. And despite the beliefs of many, the current location of Alamo City's Cenotaph is an arbitrary spot.
It's taken on this partisan element. The Texas GOP voted to oppose any move of the Cenotaph.
I'm Chance Dorland with your Express Briefing for Tuesday, August 7th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. And get each day's top news and sports headlines delivered to your inbox at expressnews.com/newsletters. 22 years after the murder of his older brother, then 25-year-old Michael LaHood Jr., Bexar County District Attorney Nico LaHood now believes the man who drove the shooter to the LaHood home still isn't telling the truth. In 1996, Kenneth Foster Jr. drove the getaway car carrying Mauricio Brown, who had just shot LaHood's brother to death in the family's driveway. Though Foster didn't pull the trigger, a jury convicted him of capital murder and sentenced him to die. But in 2007, just hours before his scheduled execution, then Texas Governor Rick Perry commuted Foster's sentence to life in prison. The second episode of I'm a Killer, a new 10-part Netflix series on death row inmates, explores the case and LaHood's complicated thoughts on the idea of reconciling with Foster, who hopes to meet with LaHood to discuss the matter as he awaits for parole eligibility in 2036. In the episode, Nico LaHood discusses being at his family home the night of the murder and also meets with Foster's grandfather, who is seeking an early release from prison for his grandson.
The mindset behind the law party is it for it to be the benefit of the community. Think about it. There are some people out there that are just very manipulative and have a mastermind. If we didn't hold that person accountable and only the person that they manipulated to do the crime, well, then people would get away with a lot of stuff. I have no intention of advocating for Kenneth to get out sooner than he should, just to let you know.
Foster was convicted of capital murder under a Texas statute that, under certain circumstances, holds co-defendants involved in a murder responsible even if they aren't the killer, with a jury having found that Foster conspired with the gunman to rob LaHood and anticipated the murder, with prosecutors noting they consider Foster the crime's ringleader. A DACA student who had been protesting outside a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility on the north side is now in federal custody facing deportation, either a victim of retaliation for speaking his mind or a violator of immigration law accused of making threats against law enforcement. While lawyers and supporters for 18-year-old Sergio Salazar says he's under attack from federal agents because he's calling for the elimination of ICE. Federal officials say he was arrested Friday for violating federal immigration law, and sources confirm Salazar's name is on an FBI database of potential threats. Salazar was born in Mexico and has been living in the United States since he was 2, and recently has been living legally in the U.S. as a recipient of temporary legal immigration status under the controversial Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals initiative. A day before his arrest on Friday, an application to renew his temporary legal status was denied. And San Antonio Express News Metro columnist Brian Chasnoff says despite much incorrect information to the contrary, the current location of the Alamo Cenotaph holds little historical relevance.
One of the arguments that a lot of these anti-moving the Cenotaph people are making is that this was where the defenders of the Alamo, their bodies were burned. And there's reason to believe that. I think there's something on the Cenotaph that mentions the funeral pyre. I even found a document from the office of the city clerk that states, according to tradition, this is where the bodies were burned. But in fact, that's just not the case. There have been studies, archaeological studies that have been done. By most accounts, the bodies were burned where Commerce Street is right now, close to the convention center. So that's really just a bogus argument that's been debunked by experts.
Hear more discussion of the Cenotaph and proposed plans for its repair and relocation on today's episode of Puro Politics. Available for free download in Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And That's your daily San Antonio Express News briefing for Tuesday, August 7th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. I'm Chance Storlin.